Hi, welcome to the video for level 3, Save to Local Data. So in this step, what we're aiming to do is make our simple static web page not static anymore. What we want to do is to be able to save some simple notes on the local drive of the computer running the browser, pardon me. And those notes should be available where if we were to turn off the computer and turn on the computer again and have a look, they should still remain there. So that's called local storage. Now, just for clarity, we're only doing things on this side of the equation still, okay? So it's all front end. There's nothing being sent over the internet onto an SQL server or anything like that. That will be a future step where we start to migrate just this front end stuff into the back end. But to do that, we would need Flask. So we need Flask to handle the back end for us. So at the moment, all we're going to do is modify our simple app to have us let us enter some notes or once for every day of the week, something like that, just to prove how we can save stuff locally. All right, so let's get stuck into it. So this is just really well, you'll see it's just a scripting, HTML, and a bit of styling as well. So let's get into it here. So begin by duplicating level 2 to level 3. That seems simple enough. So we might go over here. We might go create folder, level 3. And we'll copy all of this stuff in here. Control, drag, and it just copies it all for us. Might go into the index to start with. And at the moment it's level 1. I should have in the old exercise, what I should have done is I probably should have changed that to level 2, just so the heading's different for each one. All right, so level 3, we'll close everything down here so we don't get confused. This is old stuff. And let's open up the index, have a look, make sure it says L3. It does say L3, so we're in the right place. Now what we actually want to do is we want to add an area down the bottom of each day and then a button down the bottom of the screen that will let us enter and save some notes. So it's relatively simple to do. The notes for it are up here. And you can see here that we've got the day sort of set out for Monday. And what we're doing is we're adding just this one extra line. So I might Control C that one. And I'm going to go over to here and get page 1 because it's page 1 that's actually changing. And I can see I've got double line, so I might go Shift Alt A. That's better. And now, so this was the day. So what I want to do is I want to put that there. And that is just going to give us a space, this space here, that we can enter notes in. And we're going to do this for every day of the week. So let's get cracking on that. So just a simple matter of copying and pasting, Control C again. Make that Tuesday. Actually, let's just make it enter notes. Then we don't have to keep modifying for each day. Control C. Oops. Control V. Control V. Control V. And so now each one of our days has a little notes thing. So step 1 complete. We also need a button at the bottom to save the notes. So we'll copy and paste that. Copy. We'll put that right at the very bottom of everything. And that's this little button here. You can see we haven't done any styling yet. We'll have to do some styling to this, make it look a bit better. And that's that done, I think. What we need to now do is we need to link in a script that we'll put the script in a minute, but we'll put the link for the script in. Control C, we'll put that in the head section. Control V. And that completes page 1, I believe. All right, so now we're just putting some styling in. We're adding to the styling just to handle the button and the notes fields. So let's go in, have a look at the styling. So maybe put this down the bottom. Obviously, if this were a project, you would put some notes. You know, you go something like styling stuff for the notes layout. Yep, something like that, right? And you can see here it's changed the styling over here, which is good. And it's got a focus, something not quite right, because it should have when, oh, okay. So it's saying when you're focusing on it, change the border color. Yep, sounds good. All right, this is the important part. This is part of script.js. So we go over here, we can see at the moment there's no script.js. So we're going to have to create that. Paste that in, Alt-Shift-A, and that should be it. That should all work now. We should be able to enter notes, go down the bottom and save. We might have to actually run it on a browser. So let's try it on a browser. So we've got enter a note, save, and we get this prompt up here. We go, okay. Now what's interesting here is if we have a look in the integrated tools here, and we go to application, and if you're not on it, you can go local storage. And what you can see is where it's actually stored this information. It's actually stored it in local storage. And you can see here, if we add this, then this gets stored in Thursday. So that's how it's actually stored. Now, if we were to close that down and then go back and let's just start it up again, you can see that the notes are still there and that the storage is still there. So this is local storage. It's a facility that you have to use. You can use it in between sessions, so it can save data in between sessions. The limitations of it are, of course, that if you were to be on a different device, then obviously you're not going to get the local information. And this is where this setup comes in, right? So typically later on, what would happen is that you would sync up the stuff that you put on your local storage with something in an SQL database. And then no matter which browser you come back on, which local machine you come back on, you would get the right information. So we've sort of taken a baby step to making our website less static, but it's not fully front end and back end. It's not a full stack, I guess you would say yet. So hopefully you learned a little bit about local storage in this lesson. Next lesson, we will be, what we'll be doing, we will be implementing Flask, and that's a big lesson, a complex lesson. So yeah, see you in lesson 4.